Okay, I think we're live. We have Kopaz here and Greg M is here. I'm going to give it another second. I'm going to go ahead and post a link of the stream on Facebook. We have a miserable quarter fan spinning 820-3437 to solve. This is one that has already been attempted repair by us earlier, and this has been sitting here for a little bit, so we're going to try and solve it. Pretty much everything that this could be has been already ruled out, so that is our job tonight, is to fix this. So we will go ahead and try and see what's wrong with it, and also go over some common things when going over quarter fan spin or power cycling. Okay, here we go. Tom is here. How's it going, Tom? Alright, so this is an 820-3437 out of a 2013-14 MacBook Air that was liquid damaged, and now it quarter fan spins. So if people do not know if you guys don't know what quarter fan spin is, here's what quarter fan spin is. So we have a fan. See that fan? That's a nice little fan. And plug it in. See what it does. It quarter fan spins. It spins a quarter of the way around and does nothing. Now, why is this happening? What is this called? This is called power cycling. So what the board is doing is the board is trying to turn on. So the board is trying to turn on. It's saying, hey, okay, I'm going to try and turn on. And then there's a problem downstream that stops it from turning on. So this problem could be a short downstream on some subrail. This problem could be a issue with the PCH or CPU. This could be a clock issue. This could be a BIOS issue, a SPI termination trace issues. All of those things can cause this symptom set right here. So one important thing that we need to do is check and see if CPU vCore is coming online. So at least we know that the CPU vCore power supply is there and is okay. So we're going to go ahead and check CPU vCore. Here's our trusty FLIR multimeter right here. And we're going to check voltage on CPU vCore and see if we get a pulse. Because if we get a pulse on vCore, that means that every single rail in the system is coming online as well. So if vCore pulses, that means that every single other rail in the system is coming online, and that makes a short less likely. So but we're still going to check. So watch that. And it does pulse. Okay, so we know that Allsys power good is definitely going high, so we know that a short is less likely. Let's go ahead and have a look at this board. Now this probably had corrosion around this area right over here. So this is common on these boards for this area to corrode, and this doesn't look too bad. You can see there is evidence of corrosion here before ultrasonic, but it doesn't look too awful. So I don't really think there's too much here, honestly, because you'd see corroded pins on that, and it doesn't really look like that. It doesn't really look too bad. Moving on to the clock area, I believe that clock chip has been replaced before. And it's really, really common in liquid damage for these traces to corrode here, and these just don't look that way. They look fine. They don't look corroded one bit. There's a little like oily substance on it that's just from flux residue and the ultrasonic fluid. That's not resistor. That could mean nothing, or it could mean the resistor is bad, so we're going to have to measure that. That little tiny thing, it's probably nothing. It really probably is nothing. Let's go ahead and check that resistor and see if it shows us anything. So, I can't talk, tired. Anyway, our meter is in diode mode, or continuity mode. And that's 15 ohms. It's not blown. One other thing, the rare thing that can cause a symptom like this is blown current sensing resistors on the ISL6259. That's not really too common to present this way, but we're going to go ahead and check it just to rule it out. These look okay, so do these, but I'd rather check it and rule it out than miss it. We want to be thorough always. 3.2 ohms and 20 ohms. So it is not that. Sam is here. How's it going, Sam? Joshua's here. How's it going, Joshua? So now this resistor looks a little funny. But there's multiple here that look like that, so that makes me think it's just the batch resistor. So see that little like discoloration mark on it? That caught my eye, but there's multiple here that looks like that, so I'm gonna disregard that as a issue. Now liquid on this was originally around the backlight area, so the backlight driver area. This area right here, the Thunderbolt area. Thunderbolt can cause issues like that. Looks like it might have been right here as well, but this isn't anything really important. This is fibers from floating in the ultrasonic, so this is also not an issue. Sometimes also these traces can go bad. It's usually, in this case, it's usually a manufacturing defect where little bits of flux residue gets into the board, and you'll get the traces between these pins here and here that will corrode internally to the board. So we'll go ahead and check continuity from Y1915 over to this pad right here on the clock chip, just to rule that out. Like I said, we got to be thorough. So one lead is here, other lead is here. This meter lead isn't great, but it does work. And that is good, so it's not this. So the next thing I want to do is check and see if the clock chip is actually doing its job. Maybe there's an issue around it that's causing it not to work properly. PPV RTC G3 hot is not shorted. Let's go ahead and get the oscilloscope out, and I want to see if there's a pulse. I want to see if we're getting our 32 kilohertz clock signal, and if it's steady or what's going on with that. We might have a bad crystal. Very unlikely, but it can happen. So Kike is here. How's it going? Joshua had coronavirus? How's it go? That sounds bad. How was your experience with coronavirus? It appears our oscilloscope is not turning on. That could be a problem. Is the oscilloscope plugged in? It is not plugged in. Let's go ahead and plug the oscilloscope in. What good is an oscilloscope that is not plugged in? It's almost as useless as a MacBook. Still not as useless, but it's getting there. Nothing is more useless than a MacBook. Okay, where is our clock? If clock is steady at 32 kilohertz, then we could rule out the clock circuit as being an issue. $820 3437. Where is it here? There we go. Clock, 32 kilohertz PCH clock. Sys clock, that's 25. It's 25. Where's 32? Right here. PCH clock 32 RTC X1 is what we want. The board is plugged in. I'm actually going to move my alligator clip over here. Andy says rude. What did I do that was rude? Alright. Just hit the oscilloscope on auto. See if we have a clock signal. And we do have a 32 kilohertz clock signal, and it looks okay. It is not pulsing or anything, so we can effectively rule out the clock circuit as being our cause. Now let's go ahead and actually look at some pulses on the BIOS lens. I wish I could show you guys this, but it's too much of a pain to get that software on the screen, and it is very poorly coded. But I'm just going to check the SPI pulses now and see if they look funny, see if they look off or whatever. You probably can't see this. Wait, did my microscope freeze? Alright, my microscope froze. 1 second. Yeah, I don't know how long that's been frozen for, but I've been actively doing stuff and it froze. Time for a new camera. Saying MacBooks are worthless. Alright, I should say this. Most MacBooks are worthless, but the 12-inch, especially in rose gold, is especially worthless. That one can't even go a month without getting a dead CPU. Piece of junk microscope camera does not want to work. Just going to go delete, remove. Video capture device. And lovely, it's not even being detected now. Did this just die permanently? Did this just die permanently? It appears it is alive. It's alive. .720p. Okay. Transform. Rotate 180 degrees. We should all chip in to get Andy a ThinkPad. Alright, let's go ahead and look at some SPI pulses now. The board is still quarter fan spinning. This is kind of weird because it doesn't usually they quarter fan spin for equal amounts of time, and this one's not really quarter fan spinning for equal amounts of time. It's pretty weird. Okay, let's see here. Alright, we're getting some very strange pulses, very intermittent pulses. So that is telling me that SPI is only active briefly, which may be normal. There's no pulses right here. What is this? This is why it helps to have an oscilloscope for stupid stuff like this, because the no pulses on this could indicate a broken trace. SPI, WP, L, and PP3V3 sus, which is right here, is not showing me any voltage, nothing. Let's see. This could very well be it right here. None. Here we go. So then maybe there's PP33 sus missing at the BIOS. That could very well cause it. No, we have 3v3 sus here. Darn it, I thought I got lucky. We have 3 volts on all these. My oscilloscope screwed up? Caleb is here. I'm gonna try a different channel on the oscilloscope. Try channel 4. Andrew is here. Come on, plug in. This is sort of pointing now to some PCH communication issue. That's what I am thinking. But what's weird, I think my oscilloscope is screwed up. Yeah, I think my oscilloscope is screwed up. Alright, well we know we're getting 3 volts on all those SPI lines, but it doesn't mean they're communicating right. Let's go ahead and have a close look at this area. So, this is going to be our PCH area. Oh, look at this. What the heck is this? What is this? Who did this? Somebody was here, and this... was this not caught before? What does this thing do? This board came to me quarter fan spinning. PP1V05 PCH HSIO. That probably can cause some issues. Is Kai being fired today? Not today. Maybe Monday, but not today. Okay, how is this not? This is the importance of visual inspection. Seriously, look over the board. I don't know how I missed that, but it was missed, obviously. So quarter fan spinning can be caused by stuff like this. Blatantly obvious stuff like this. And this is the risk you take when another repair store works on a board. Gotta get a picture of broken chip. Yes, Kike sent this board to me and now we're lost. Alright, I'm pretty sure this is why we're quarter fan spinning. I mean, that doesn't look good. So let's get some hot air. Let's take this guy off. Okay, this I know for a fact. How does this happen? Like seriously, how does this even happen? Like that. Did this explode? No, this couldn't have exploded, could it have? Because I have no idea how this happened like this. No, it definitely didn't explode. What the heck? Well, I guess how it happened doesn't really matter, but it can be fixed very easily. So, we need a wire, we need a wire, we need a wire, we need a wire, and we shouldn't need a wire for that. I got the screen for the 1989 today. Did the customer approve it? Bring it back on Monday so we could ultrasonic that. Yeah, come back on Monday, let's ultrasonic that and get that done. That was the chat. That was the 1989 we fixed on Friday or Thursday. I don't remember what day it was, but it was some day. Get out of here. Come on. I broke the trace on purpose. So I want to scrape away this area a little bit with my iron because we're going to need to run little wires right there. That board was violated. I agree. We're going to scrape so we have a little footing to put some solder and wire on. So right here is where our wire will run on that one. How did that happen? I don't know. That's a mystery to me. Somebody was here, and I know I wouldn't have done anything like this. Okay, let's start with the easiest first. Need some jumper wires. For this, I'm going to use some solder wick because those jumper wires are so small and they're perfect for this. For little stuff that you do not need enamel wire, do not run a long jumper with solder wick wire because one, it's not coated and you will have issues. So don't do that. But for short little stuff, it is beautiful for. And that's what we're going to use it for. So we need a little wire here. Actually, we'll do this one first because this one's going to be nice and easy. Let's get a little flux down. I want a small syringe, and that's over here. Getting ready to Tuesday, the new space should be ours, so gotta build the door, and then we could start moving my office into the other room. Away from everybody. Ow. I just got a huge static shock on my microscope on my nose. That was interesting. My nose is twitching now. I've never gotten a static shock on my nose. I don't recommend one though. Did you guys hear the snap on chat from when I got shocked or no? Need another pair of tweezers, and it appears there's only one pair of tweezers at my desk. That doesn't make any sense. But there's a whole bunch over here. Christian is here. Can actually hear the static pulse. Yeah, I thought so. That was a pretty big one. My nose still feels funny where it was. At least it wasn't on the board, but hate to break it to you guys, but that doesn't usually kill boards. Why? Because the static electricity wants ground. It does not want some little high resistance pathway to a chip. It wants ground. So even if you did get a static shock on a board, most likely it would have went to ground and you're 100% fine. Here's one. I'm going to try and get a little solder on this because it's basically going to be our pad. That's perfect. Alright, now we're going to do this one. Then as far as this one, I could just do a loop. Believe all 3 pins on this. Yeah, all 3 pins being the same thing. So I could just do a loop. This will be super easy. But wait a second here. Yeah, we could just do a big loop there. So that one's super, super easy. Very easy. Last time Stella was here, she wouldn't stop running and crapped on my floor. So Stella doesn't usually come here. If she was more relaxed, yes, but she's not a very relaxed pug. She's rambunctious. I want to make a little bridge. But it doesn't want a bridge. Whenever you want a bridge, you can never get a bridge. But when you don't want a bridge is always there to make you hate your life. There we go. That'll make contact. That's good enough for me. I want the chip to sit flat though, and that does not seem like it's going to sit flat. There, that'll sit. That'll be alright. That'll be alright. And then we're going to do a loop here to here. I want to bring Stella to work more though. I like Stella. People that don't know who Stella is my little pug. I've had her on stream once or twice, I think. Not every pug gets to get world famous in the repair community, but my pug certainly is. No, you get back down there. I hate running wires like this. It's a pain. Because another thing is I want the chip to sit flat, and I can't have it where it's sticking up or anything. So that's a challenge. Richard Baker is here. No, I'd hope I would never have to do that, Tom, because that would mean she'd be lost, and that would make me very sad. Alright, that's as pretty as I'm going to get this one, I think. This is my day off and I decided to watch Tim working. That's how we handle days off here. We watch other people work. That's how it's supposed to be, isn't it? I don't consider a day off not working. I consider a day off a day without customers calling to complain about some random stuff. Like literally every week, start a Monday from 11 o'clock to like 1 p.m. is nothing but people What's the status of my laptop after they've called on Friday and Saturday? So that's, yeah, it happens. It's part of it. I know people are going to call. Do I like being pestered for status updates? No. Especially when people are not necessarily polite about it, but it is what it is. It's part of this work. Asking for updates is one thing, but being rude about updates is another thing. Like, I've had a few people that have, they've had some really, really complicated boards, and they call and ask, oh, what can you do about the price because you've had it over a week? And, nothing. So that's, I changed my mind. I'm going to run this wire from here across here. Travis is here. Travis, was this you? Yes, this was Travis. Travis did this. Blame Travis. Actually, I don't want to... No, it'll be alright. No, it's too close for comfort to that cap. I don't want to short here. I'm going to peel back this trace more. No, it'll be alright. I think it'll be alright. We're just going to have to conformal coat it really well. Not a problem. I do too, Christian. I think it's just the area we're in. You don't play music while I work? I do play music while I work, just not on stream, because on stream that'll get me a copyright strike. Stella references from a play streetcar near... Oh, alright, I know what you're talking about now. I'm kind of brain dead to non-things MacBook, just so everyone knows. So if I don't get a reference or something, that's why. Because I sit in my office and I fix MacBooks all day long. 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 24/7. Sure, Andrew. I just got burned. Alright, it doesn't have to be perfect. So, here we go. We're going to put this chip on now. Moment of truth. Let's get some more flux down, some fresh stuff. Let's grab a 3437 donor board. Or 00165, doesn't matter. First one that I reach in that'll have this chip, and this one does. Cool. Protect Restore is great. Billy, the guy, the owner, is a great guy as well. Once the new store is set up and everything, I'm going to be spending several thousand at Protect Restore to get a really big stock of parts. After the expenses of the flooring and everything like that is over. Okay, the moment of truth. We got to have this pretty darn close here. I think I made Billy mad. What did you do? Tell me what you did. Alright, now, are we going to get fan spin? Are we going to get fan spin? Everybody vote. Are we going to get fan spin or quarter fan spin? Remember, keep in mind these 34, 37 boards will quarter fan spin 3 times before starting, but it is a longer fan spin. And this does not appear to be fixed. Okay. So this wasn't our issue. Indeed it wasn't. That is not fan spin. That is fake fan spin. Let's make sure all of our wires are down here because it might not be soldered all the way. You never know. Oh, right here. Boom. No, that's right. Let's clean it up because I can't see. Yeah, I get annoyed at stuff like that too. Don't take it personal. Thought for sure this would be the issue. Like, how could this not be the issue? But at least now we know the board has a history of stuff being knocked off of it, so that is a hint. Pretty sure that's soldered okay. Or is it? No, it is. Let me just probe around a little bit. You need to change the SMC. Oh, screw you. Every time you're here, I've had to do that. No. No. No SMC. SMC is fine. You shut up. Okay, well, it's not this. That was definitely a problem, but it's not this. Let's try something. So the SPI termination traces can cause this issue. One quick way that we could think, check continuity of pin 6 on what? The one chip we just replaced? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'll check continuity there. It's connected pretty good, but change the PCH, just the PCH. Let's see. SC Lime, you want to change the PCH die on an Intel CPU package? Yep, we're good there, so it's not that. I've taken those dies off before. There's little solder balls under it. It's a pain, though. You don't... yeah, if you think you're successfully replacing that, you're out of your mind. The actual die on the CPU package, yeah, you're crazy. Alright, let's give the BIOS area some heat as a diagnostic method, because sometimes if there is a broken trace in this area, heating it will make it work. I've learned this a few times, so we're going to put some heat on it. And plug it in. Same symptoms. Okay, but now after doing that PCH thing, it only fan spins once. It does not do its usual thing, which is interesting. There was some corrosion around Q7630. So let's check for a pulse on Q7630. Maybe it's possible that U7600 got damaged. I think that's really unlikely. But let's see. So let's check for a pulse on L7630, which is going to be right here. corrosion was here, though, it could have gotten under the CPU, but... Okay, I gotta try and do this quickish because... Oh, come on. Alright, does not look like I get a pulse. Let's do it again, test again. Gotta be faster. Alright, I do get a brief pulse there, so it's not that. Let's try a different BIOS, because the BIOS can do it. Let's just rule it out. We're just gonna put a new one on, or a different one from a different board, and see if it gives us a change in symptom set, or if it works, or fan spins. You can't really use that. You need to clean the ME region, but it's worth a shot, because you never know. And the only real test for a BIOS chip is to swap it. You can't really just measure it and say, oh, it's bad or good. No, you need to swap it. This resistor does not belong right here. You belong right here. SMC can do it too, but I'm not ready to swap the SMC. SMC does not usually present as quarter fan spin on this board. It is possible though, but we didn't really have any liquid around that, so I'm not gonna... Gotta let that board cool a bit, because that is burning hot. I don't want to turn it on when the board is that hot. Alright, I think we've waited long enough that we could test it. If this works, I will scream. Because it's never the BIOS. And it's not the BIOS. Big surprise. I'm tapping on the board to see if I can make it fan spin, because that would indicate a trace issue. So I'm going to tap on the board a bit, especially around the processor. But no change. I find it interesting how it's not power cycling like it was before or after we changed this chip. I'm going to lift this and try again on that. And I'm going to put the original BIOS back. Almost wonder if the chip we put on there was bad. Possibility. Never know. I wonder, since this crystal is right here, heating this area would change this if this was bad. Now, crystals can be affected by heat. Let's change this. We never know. I've also had the SMC crystal cause quarter fan spin, but this crystal is near a heat source. You never know. It's probably not it, but you never know. When I think a board acting different after heat, I think of a cracked trace, a cracked resistor, a crystal, something of that sort. A cracked solder joint. I don't really suspect a cracked solder joint though, because this happened after liquid. Greetings from SoCal. Greetings from SoCal as well. Come on. Melt. There we go. Could it be operator error? I don't think so. I don't think it's operator error, because the operator is me. I make mistakes, but I don't see how I could be making a mistake that would cause a board to quarter fan spin. See if there's any change with that. Not a bad boy. I keep forgetting to wear that shirt. I think I wore it once. That seemed to spin a little bit longer. Let's see if it does it again. Nope. Alright. I will try a different one of these. The edges are a little chiseled, but that's usually not an issue. It's not really the prettiest thing right here, but... yeah. Let's see if it was bridging underneath. No, it doesn't look like it. That just moved when I took it off. That stayed. That stayed. Wonder if it was touching the edge right here. Certainly not now. I'm going to try a different method for this pad right here. I'm just going to run wires straight across. I think that'll actually be more stable than how I had it before. Oh, this is the trace. One thing I really hate about quarter fan spin boards is it could be literally anything. So you have really you have to really approach it and rule out everything it could possibly be. I've already checked this before this video for shorts. But we're gonna check it again for shorts on all sub rails. Remember, everyone, we're recording the stream will be available on OnlyFans an hour after it finishes. Hey, I mean it. People will pay me money to watch MacBook repair, then sign me up. But I don't think people are gonna subscribe to an OnlyFan accounts of MacBook repair. Oh, not your OnlyFans, mine. I make money by exploiting you. Hey, I want 50%. Okay, 50%. %, Andrew. I want to try something. Ow. Got poked by meter lead. Where's my solder balls? Here they are. We should make a MacBook repair page on OnlyFans. It would be hilarious. That would yeah, we should do that. I wonder if anybody would pay. This may turn out to be a colossal mistake to put this here, but let's see. No, you go back there. Colossal mistake. That was a colossal mistake. So there goes that idea. My idea was I could put a solder ball there. I probably need a smaller one. But that one was way too big. Yeah, I somehow think we're not gonna be able to grow that very much, Andrew. People usually don't go on OnlyFans to watch MacBook repair. Just dead bug it. No, 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 no. This is way easier than dead bug. Dead bug is much harder than this. I think one more down the center should do it. Anyone interested in ham radios, building them? Radar I am. And CT. I want to build a CT scanner soon. For boards. Okay, now I want to try a little bit of solder on there. A little solder ball. Not a big one. Big one did not work out. Big one caused great sadness. These are pretty small. Is it going to be too big? Too big? No. I don't think so anyway. I think that'll spread out nice. Or I just screw it up again. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Stolen present. Well, the PCH is right on the other side of this, so heating that could have killed it. Well, not killed it, but made it worse if it was already dying. But I kind of doubt that. That turned out good. Yeah, it turned out nicely. Very nicely. See if anything's changed. Nope. Yeah, this is sad. This board makes me want to cry. Much, much sad. Poor little MacBook. Poor little MacBook. VRTC is present. Sus is present. What's PP best voltage? .59. SMC area was corroded. 3v42 area was corroded, but none of this would cause symptoms that we're having. This over here was corroded, this Fairchild chip right here. I'm hard pressed to say we should replace it, but I don't know. Corrosion could have just as easily got under the PCH or the CPU. It's fine under there. Nothing blatantly obvious here. Nothing there, nothing there. MOSFETs look okay. What is resistance to ground on the CPU V-core? This is a big one. Just shoot the board. That is an excellent idea. Maybe I will do that tomorrow. 45 ohms to ground. That's perfectly fine. 86 ohms to ground. Greater than a lot of ohms to ground. JTAG was corroded and removed. These resistors do matter. I wonder if that pad looks a little off. There's some touching up. It's not going to be that though. It was soldered. Not the best solder, but it was soldered. If it was that, man, I would scream. The leading contender is maybe there's something wrong with the U7600. Yeah, it wasn't that. Because U7600 Alright, let's replace Q7630 and U7600 and maybe we'll get lucky. If this doesn't work, I think I'm going to throw in the towel with this board. Unless Thunderbolt wouldn't do it, but then again, I've seen crazier things with Thunderbolt. We could remove Thunderbolt. Could just tell it's fine though, it's not corroded or anything. So this was originally corroded. My suspect is my theory is maybe it failed in the way that killed U7600. I don't know. But we will not know until we replace it. So, that's what we're doing. Oh, and that board from the other day, the A1278 on the last stream, that was fixed after ultrasonic. After people were saying it's the PCH, it's the PCH. Nope. That was fixed after ultrasonic. Okay, junk under the SMC can do this, but I don't think there was any liquid around the SMC, so I just don't want to reflow it, but That is a possibility. Junk under the SMC can rarely present in quarter fence, but it's not really common, especially on this board, but it can happen. Typically see other signs for what is the SMC though. It wasn't that. Let's give it a second. But I replaced the backlight driver. Maybe heat from the backlight driver. Screwed with the SMC crystal. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, last thing I'm gonna try. After this, I'm gonna go home. I'm only doing this because I've had boards in the past that have given me similar issues, very similar to this, and it was caused by the crystal on the SMC. And yes, it was 12.59 volts still. So that can definitely happen. It's rare, but it does happen. It typically only happens if you heat the area before. And in this case, we were heating over here, which could have caused issues. It's not direct, but you never know. First, I'm going to reflow the SMC. And then the crystal. And we will see if it works. I'm going to do it all in one shot, though. Again, I don't know how many times I have to remind people this, because I get customers that watch this and say, oh, well, reflowing is bad. Louis Rossmann says it's not a permanent solution. No, reflowing a flip chip BGA chip is bad. This is not a flip chip BGA. Occasionally you will get issues with the solder balls underneath this, or corrosion in liquid damage cases, and that can cause issues. Reflowing this chip, let's say if the chip is bad, giving it heat will not affect it. It will not make it work again if it is bad. It will do nothing. The only time that it will work again if you give it heat and flux is if there is corrosion or a cracked ball under it. Let it cool a minute. And no change. Yeah. Alright, well, I'm done with this board. I've wasted enough time on it. So I'm going to call it quits on this particular board. So I will see you in the next stream. Maybe I'll fix it, maybe I won't, but this isn't looking very promising. This, to me, is looking more and more like a PCH issue. Because everything is there. I mean, everything that we need is there, and it's still not working. So PCH to BIOS communication issue, something like that is most likely what's going on. So yeah, that's that. All right, have a good night, everyone.